Okay, fishing time. Good morning, everyone. Mike Carey with Northwest Fishing Reports. We're here today fishing Pishkun Reservoir in central Montana. I'm with my son Matthew. This reservoir is pretty cool. It's around 1,100 acres. It's got kokanee in it, it's got trout, it's got some trophy pike in it as well. So in the next coming days, we're going to show you a little bit about the reservoir, and with any luck, we'll get into some of those big fish. Let's go fishing. We've got our lines out. We are running a downrigger around 35 feet with kokanee gear. I've got a leaded line with 2 colors out, again kokanee gear, and then we've got 2 planer boards running. One's got an old goat and the other one has just a standard old spoon. So those ones are running off of 1 ounce of lead and 2 ounces of lead. Just waiting for the fish. Take them. You're gonna have to reel down tight. Oh yeah, definitely.
Tight. Is he on?
Yeah. It's like a kokanee.
Nice fish.
Oh, he's jumping around pretty good. Oh, he jumped off.
Jumped off.
That's so sad. That's sad.
That's sad. That was on an old goat. We're marking fish down there and dealing with a little bit of breeze this morning. Hopefully this breeze will die off in a bit. But we lost one already to start the day, but I'm optimistic. I'm marking fish periodically, no big clusters, but 3s and 4s and singles, so I keep at it.
Oh yeah,
Okay, huh? Wow. We found the ticket. Today they are going after old goats. Got the orange one, and on the other one is the pink. Got some colored hooks and a couple pieces of corn. Did the trick. There you go. This is about a 13-incher, I'd say.
Kill it? Yeah, kill the water?
No, just like hey, fish on! Nice fish. Got a nice fish here on the leaded line. Started seeing some marks down in the 40-foot range for those kokanee, but this is probably a trout, I'm gonna guess. A little tricky doing all this stuff at once here. Okay, there's a nice looking fish coming in.
Up here?
Yeah, let's do it behind the downriver. That's a nice trout. Good job. All right, huh? Nice little fish. All right. Look at that fish. Put up a great fight, caught this on the leaded line using a little sling blade and just a generic wedding ring that I made up. Get some more. Oh, kokanee. Kokanee, here, go ahead with it. So that's a kokanee bite. Yep. Reel it down tight, tight. Right. Then give it a pop.
Oh, yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yep, cool. You got him. Fish. Okay. Oh, that's a nice kokanee. Yeah. That's a nice kokanee. Oh, that's a trout. Was it? No, wait a minute. Oh my God, that's a beautiful that. Hey Matt, you got a nice kokanee there. Beautiful. 12, 13 inches. Actually measured it and came in at 15 inches. That was caught on a Dutch fork custom lure blade with an Arctic trolling fox fly and a chunk of the corn. Nice fight, huh?
Beautiful. Great fish.
Check out this beauty Matt just caught. This is an old goat. This is the new style double spinners old goat lure. Isn't that a beautiful rainbow? We're measuring it at 21 inches. We took this on 3 ounces on a planer board. Got a little sling blade, got that old goat. That is one beautiful fish. Got the planer board. Yeah. Unless the fish swam into it. That was true. That was a bite.
Okay, we'll keep it rolling.
Yeah. One of the perils of having planer boards.
I mean, this isn't really moving that much.
Yeah, there's a fish.
Yeah.
Oh, he fell off.
Oh, did he?
Fell off. I think that was a kokanee too.
Decent little fish. Oh, yeah.
Here, you want the net?
Pull him in. Ah, pull him in. Hey, look at that guy, huh? Crashing around a little bit.
Oh,
all right, huh?
Is that your first pike, Matt?
That is my first pike.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Put up a cool little fight. Fun fish. Oh, it's like about 18 inches.
We would normally throw him back. You can have 5 pike in Pishkun Reservoir per day, so congratulations, Matt, your first pike.
Fun little fish.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right. I think this is a pretty good sized pike, huh? Oh, he is.
Tired.
He is tired, and he's caught. Maybe it's the reel is wrapped around.
Maybe he's
Wrapped around a bunch of stuff is why it was heavy. That's why it was heavy. Dragging along 3 pounds of seaweed. I don't even think he was hooked. Maybe he was hooked. I don't know. He got out pretty easily. Hey!
Take another pike, I guess. Northwest Fishing Reports, all right. He likes it. Yep, he likes it. I can kick it up for you if you want. Hand, two hands.
Hey everyone, welcome to a cast and blast adventure here in Montana. I'm with my son Matt and his dog Murphy. We've been fishing earlier in the season at Pishkun Reservoir for trout, kokanee, and pike. And now we're doing the blast part of the adventure, hitting some of the fields and public lands out here in Montana. We're around Fairfield. The hunting has been great. Join us as we go casting and blasting.
Cross the cane lines and stay away from the cows. So I'll keep him in the car with me, and then when you're ready, I'll let him go.
End of the fence.
Anytime he works back like that, that's a good sign. Picks up a smell, picks up a scent. Hey, that's good. Want me to kick him up? You want to kick it up. If you kick it up, it's better in terms of you're right on top of it. It's gonna flush straight ahead of you. Now it's gonna probably flush to your left.
Ha! That's a nice bird. Get on, Murph, bring it. Bring it. Wow.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
Check his spur. That's the thing you want to look for, the spur and the tail feather.
That's a nice one. I missed more than my share, so that felt good. Montana pheasants. Nose is looking. Hand.
Got a pretty decent point over here. Hand. Come here, Murph. Come on.
Whoa!
Come back.
Get that?
Yep. There's another one.
You just saw Murphy freeze on 2 roosters, and the hunter forgot to take the safety off. So that's on me, that's not on Murphy. What a day out here on Montana's grasslands and farmlands for pheasant. Pretty awesome stuff.
Here, bud.
Matt, last night we got a lot of rain. How's that going to affect the pheasant hunting today?
Expect the birds to hold their cover a lot more so than yesterday. It's not as windy as it was yesterday, so they're not going to be as apt to fly. They're going to kind of want to hunker down, conserve their energy. Thankfully, We still have my dog. And as you saw from yesterday, he's a pointer. So those birds that are sitting in the brush are gonna be found, and we're gonna have a good time hunting those up. Come here, bud. Come, Murph. Okay. Come on, pup. Sharp-tailed grouse, about 30 yards away.
Oh, he's on a point. Good Murphy. Good boy. That was a rooster. That was a rooster that Murphy got in this swampy area, but the bird never got up high enough, and I didn't want to take a shot risking Murphy, so sometimes you gotta let him go. These cattails are another good spot. We've been getting a lot of roosters in here too.
It's running. Bird's running.
Oh, geez.
He'll chase it down.
Wow, that was crazy. Had and then got that rooster. Murphy had to chase it down. This is a big rooster. We'll measure it later, but look at that. That's big long tail. And look at the spur on the back. Oh my God. Montana pheasant hunting doesn't get any better than this, I'll tell you. Let's go get some more.
We talked a little bit earlier about how to identify if you have a trophy-worthy bird, the age of the bird, and those kinds of things. Let's take a look at that right now.
Okay.
So we've got a couple of indicators. If you look at these birds here, this one, you can see the feathering is rather immature. There's some sharp, jagged edges. That tells me that this rooster's not very old. Compared to this rooster here, if you see he's got a lot fuller feathers, the tips are rounded off, that's a good indicator that this bird's been around for a few seasons. Another thing pheasant hunters like to look at is the length of the bird's spur as well as the length of the tail feather. And that's a good indicator, again, whether the bird you shot might be worthy of mounting or just one to tell your buddies about. Here's the really nice one we shot today. You can take a look here on the bird's feet. They have these 3 toes and they have this spur here in the back. Now you can see this is a really nice size spur. If I had to guess, I would say somewhere close to maybe 1/3 of an inch. That's a really nice size spur. Again, this is something that guys look for kind of as bragging rights to how big of the bird they shot. For comparison, here's a bird with a much smaller spur. Again, his toes here, not quite of a sharp edge there. Wouldn't give him much of an advantage out in the field if he was battling for territory or something along those lines. For us hunters, again, just means this isn't necessarily a fully mature rooster that we were harvested today. Okay, so the last thing to look at is the length of the tail feather. This is the thing that really catches our eye as we see that bird flying. It's what gets us excited after we flush that bird and we take that shot. The tail feather, pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, the back of the bird here. We generally measure from the base of the bird to the furthest tip, and it's quite all right to extend out that feather and try to get every 1/4 of an inch you can. Generally, birds I've shot have tail feathers somewhere in the low to mid 20s. If you get a bird kind of in that high teen tail feather length, again, that means you probably have a pretty juvenile bird. The biggest tail feather I've ever shot, 27 3/8 3/8 of an inch. That was a really impressive one. I told my wife we're gonna mount this bird and she said, no, you're not. So I'm gonna use my measuring tape here and we'll see just how big of a tail this rooster has. My tape measure is a little bit out of whack, so I'm gonna start at the 40 inch mark here, start at the base of the tail, and go ahead and grab that tail and lengthen it out. Looks like it comes up to about the 21 inch mark, we'll say, maybe 20 and a half. So this rooster's got a tail maybe about 20 and a half inches. So not super impressive in terms of size, but interesting when you compare the size of that spur. So out here in the field, you might have birds with these really impressive tail feathers, but small spurs. Maybe some are girthier than others, small tail feathers. It's just kind of an interesting mix what you can find out here. We're here at Freeze Out Lake. This is one of the many public hunting land opportunities people have in the state. You can hunt either privately, that's through someone you may know, maybe a farmer or a landowner who's willing to let you access their land and hunt on that. You want to make sure you have permission beforehand before you were to hunt on their property. Or these public land opportunities like this are open to anyone during legal shooting hours. You do want to check your state regulations when you can and cannot shoot. For example, here in Montana, you can shoot 30 minutes prior to sunrise and 30 minutes after sunset. Freeze Out Lake is a wildlife management area. Again, it's an element of that public land ownership. Public land can be either state-owned or federally owned. And within that ownership, you have things like the wildlife management area, you have block management, you also have even private opportunities where landowners have leased out their private lands to the public. What's nice about those leased opportunities from private landowners is it gives us as hunters more access and more places to go. Again, you do want to look at regulations. Some landowners have a reservation type system, while others will let you come whenever you want.
Thanks, Matt. The last couple days we've been on private land, and today we're hunting on public land. Definite difference between public and private land in terms of number of birds, but regardless, it's just great to be out here. Montana is an amazing place to go hunting.
Yep. You clipped it.
I can't believe I missed that rooster. Murphy had it pointed, I had this set, and 3 shots and missed. The second shot clipped it a little bit. I don't know if you can see that on video. That square butte in the distance was made famous by a local painter, Charlie Russell, painting western scenes out here in Montana and Wyoming and elsewhere. It's beautiful, beautiful scenery.